Well, the it's really about, there's a bunch of different things. I like to use the analogy, Alex. It's sort of like if you take a little mini bomb, a little cherry bomb out in your backyard, and you put it underneath a pile of leaves, and you set it off, and then the leaves go boof and fly up all over the place. That's kind of what happens when you put a vaccine into your immune system and into all of these cytokine pathways and how they all talk to each other. Just like it blows them up and just causes everything to go into a disarray. We can't keep doing this with impunity. We just can't.
Because our body's meant to have small amounts of things they beat, not injected directly into it, a whole witch's brew of venom.
The new mantra and the new argument in the vaccine world particularly about mercury, is when they say that, you can get more mercury out of eating a can of tuna fish than you can from getting an injection in the vaccine. That's their new little soundbite to try to dismiss all of it.
And we got the CFR clip where they said, we're going to use this, and we're going to say there's a shortage.
Exactly.
And they laugh about it, manipulating us.
Yeah, they do. And it's the differences between ingesting and injecting. You can ingest a little bit of mercury in a tuna fish, and more than likely it's going to go out in your stool. You inject that into your body. It will eventually get absorbed and go into your brain. You can ingest fish oils, and you can ingest oils like shark oil, but you inject shark oil, which is what the squalene adjuvant is, and it's a completely different ballgame.
And I've read the medical literature, but they describe how mercury bound to food, 99% of it goes out, but injected, it goes right over the blood-brain barrier.
Exactly.
And children, am I correct, doctor, for the first few years don't have that blood-brain barrier properly?
Well, they do have a blood-brain barrier, but I think it's a little bit leakier. I mean, they don't have it quite as, it's leakier. So the possibility of things going across the blood-brain barrier are higher. And with the new FluMist vaccine, the one that goes up the nose, that has MSG in it. So MSG, which is an cytotoxin in the brain, which can go right up the olfactory nose and right into the brain tissue. What I'm wanting to know is who's going to follow the brain reactions that could possibly happen down the road from injecting big wad of viruses and MSG right up the nose.
But the medical system has an incentive to cover all this up. I mean, even the doctors who are giving the shots, they want to be in denial. They don't want to admit what they're part of.
No, and they've got liability protection, too. I mean, it's anybody that's involved downline from that. They all have liability protection for anything that may be going on with the vaccines.
Okay, I want to take calls now. Please have a quick question or comment. I'm sure we'll probably have horror stories of people being paralyzed or killed that are flooding in. But Ronnie in Texas, you're on the air with Dr. Sherri Tenpenny. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for the great debate last night. And as a follow-up, two related ideas by awakening fellow citizens about these dangerously untested experimental vaccines. Is it not our great opportunity right now to open their minds about organic farming, freedom for knowledge about organic farming to help family farms?
Yes, Ronnie, I appreciate your call. We've got to get on the offensive against this whole system. And he made me think of something. He just brought up the fact, because I talked to you off air, you said the majority of people were on your side at the event, and the undecideds, that they woke up by the end of it.
Yeah, I thought that the people that were there last night, that the vast majority of them, they were from the libertarians, and they were really on the whole health freedom side of the equation. And I think that they were more supportive of vaccine information and vaccine freedom of choice. And I think that the neutral parties that were there, by the time that they were left and they saw the good arguments that we had, backed up by sound, decisive things that we said versus kind of the, I would say, lame discussions that happened from the health department and the same old status quo. I think that a lot of people left very enlightened by the information they got last night.
By the way, we're going to take that video conference and post it at prisonplanet.tv for the folks over there, and then we'll get ripped everywhere else, and that's great. Jeff in Missouri, do you have a question for our guest?
Yes, I do. Dr. Tenpenny, I was wondering I know you're not a veterinarian, but I was wondering if you knew anything about the H3N8 dog virus.
I really don't. There's so much information that needs to be handled and read and assimilated every day from the human side. I really haven't gotten involved with the animals at all. I
worked for a large animal vet and a small animal vet. This was 20 years ago. And I remember them advising people, look, they say give the shot every year. It's not good. It can hurt your dog. Now they're not saying give them every year. The vaccine makers just went and paid off the Veterinarian Society, and a lot of major veterinary groups are coming out and saying these vaccines are killing people's dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
So again, we're marching on every front. The truth's coming out. And I think this whole vaccine scare, this whole push for bird flu and swine flu was really an attempt for them to get back control of the situation. But I think like judo, we took them on and slammed them through the wall. You agree we're kicking their butt?
I think that was really good. Yeah, it was. That was good.
Well, hey, we're discovering our fighting spirit. Thank you, Jeff. I'm going quick because I want everybody to get on. Jim in New York, you're on the air with Dr. Sherri Tenpenny. Go.
I talked with the husband of a scientist who works at the Cold Spring lab. They've been together for a long time. They actually live there at Cold Spring. Cold
Springs is the eugenics IBM bioweapons area, yes.
That's right. Yeah, she's actually doing research in autism, though. And when I had this conversation, I said, oh, so she's probably linked up that vaccines have caused this. And that changed his whole demeanor. He flat out came out and said, that is a complete fraud. There's absolutely no link. And the theory that they have at Cold Spring, which is what they're trying to push, is that because men are having babies later, it's actually the male sperm.
Yes, I've seen those studies. See, they're eugenicists at Cold Springs. That's where it was founded. Hitler got all his plans from Cold Springs, as you know, Doctor. That's what Endgame covers, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. They're saying, oh, we all have bad genetics, and so we need to pass laws to test your genes to see if you can have kids.
Yeah,
and it's true from the studies that boys get it more, from what I've seen, because the mercury genetically passes through to the brain at a higher level. That's what I've read. Is that?
Well, some of it has to do, they think it has to do with the testosterone levels. And they think that the higher testosterone has a worse of a problem with the mercury on the brain. But
so see, there's a little bit of truth there, but it's, yeah.
But I think that what's really interesting is that when they did the whole Human Genome Project and they're looking at genes, is what they don't understand, that the gene pool is fluid and something has to push those genes. It could be a chemical environment, a vaccine, a toxin, and it's not going to be the same for every person.
Well, the director of Cold Springs had to resign last year for saying blacks weren't human. Before that was even in the news, I named him as a top eugenicist. Dr. Watson, in Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement.